Hello and welcome or welcome back to another video. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Laura, and on this channel I talk about news, controversies, and drama on the bookish side of the internet, and I certainly hope you will stick around. So today we have another case of an author starting a Kickstarter and not following through. I know. Who knew that that website could be used in such shady ways? So this time we're talking about Isla Olsen, an Australian author who writes male romances. She is the author of 37 books, including the Love and Luck series, which is the subject of the Kickstarter. So this Kickstarter ran from March 7th to March 28th, 2024, with the final products estimated to be delivered in October 2024. And here is a video she posted to introduce the project.
Hi, thanks so much for stopping by my campaign. I'm Isla Olsen and I write low angst, high heat queer romantic comedy. I've been writing gay romance since 2020 and this Kickstarter is a celebration of my debut and best-selling series Love and Luck. It's a series about a family of brothers who fall in love with their one-true partners in very hilarious and convoluted fashion. And this Kickstarter is about the first 4 books in the series. This is a very special series for me. It's a very special series for my readers. So I wanted to do something very special for the books. So we've done a very special edition omnibus with a beautiful new cover, all the bells and whistles that you could expect from a limited edition. And I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy it. Have a look around the campaign. There's some beautiful artwork that you can see that will be, some of it will be included in the actual book. Some of it will be available as postcards and digital downloads and all of that. Enjoy yourselves and thank you for stopping by.
So the project was backed by 125 people and it raised over 20,000 Australian dollars, which is over 13,000 US dollars. And based on what I've been told and what I've heard, this was the first Kickstarter that a lot of those people had backed, because there are not a lot of like male romance book Kickstarters, I guess. So what was the campaign actually for? So the first 4 books in this series were to be bound in this beautiful book as an omnibus with extra rewards added as certain stretch goals were hit. Seriously, it looks stunning. I love the purple. It's my favorite color. But yes, this stunning collector's edition cover was designed by Michelle Catalano and inspired by the ornate gilded style of the Victorian era. Michelle also designed the interior titles and chapter headers. And the omnibus is available in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and audio. And so yeah, I mean, even inside, the illustrations are gorgeous. The hardcover is limited edition, specifically designed and printed for this Kickstarter. Keep that in mind. There will only be 1 print run and they won't be available for general release on retail platforms in the future. Another thing to keep in mind. In addition to the beautiful new cover, the hardcover omnibus includes foil embossing on the cover and spine, a matching dust jacket with foil stamping, beautiful sprayed edges in a design created by Michelle Catalano, full color interior illustrations, specially designed chapter headings and titles, full color end pages, stamped as a Kickstarter edition, and signed by Isla. And hardcovers and book boxes also include a matching case laminate foil stamped slipcase. Let's see. So yes, and then of course there are stretch goals, similar things for the paperback, the ebook, and the audiobook has companion downloads. So she had 13 different tiers for backers to choose from, which was honestly just overwhelming for me to even look at, but she did make this cute little chart to help people decide what was best for them, which is nice, I guess. On the side, it says what rewards are you looking for, and then at the top is like which tier is best for you to choose. So that's cool, I guess. And in the same screenshot, you can see that she also offered a payment plan option, which ended up being kind of a disaster, but more on that in a minute. I've been told that it's not super common to do payment plans, but like it is sometimes offered on these campaigns. I've never backed a Kickstarter if you couldn't tell. So the way the payment plan option was to work is that backers would pay 140 Australian dollars on the campaign to lock in their order. And then later when the Booksbox options were added to her website, they'd be sent a gift card for that amount, $140, to apply towards the balance of whatever they wanted to purchase. Honestly, while I can appreciate making this Kickstarter more accessible for more people, as far as giving them options to pay, the whole thing kind of seems like a disaster waiting to happen from the jump. Now, unlike Britt Andrews, the 4 books in this omnibus were already written, formatted, and ready to be sent to the printer at the outset of the campaign, so there's a W at least. So a month goes by, and no one has set any kind of update from Isla. The first update after the goal was met was sent on April 10th. Checkout is coming. Hi everyone, thank you so much for your patience waiting for the checkout process to get underway. It's definitely taking much longer than planned. There have been a couple of little tech issues regarding integration and survey setup that have set us back, but my online store manager Madison has it all sorted out now, and I'll be getting the surveys out this weekend. Fingers crossed this will be my last newbie stumble, and it'll all be smooth sailing going forward. Thanks again for your patience. Spoiler alert, it's not the last newbie stumble. Next update comes on April 15th. These surveys are still coming. Hey everyone, I'm sorry to tell you there's been another hiccup with the surveys, which occurred just as I was about to send them all out yesterday. How strange a coincidence, just when she was going to send them out. As you all know, this is my first Kickstarter, and the post-campaign stuff has proven to be much more complicated than anticipated. But we're getting there, and the great news is once this is all finally set up and the glitches are taken care of, it will be smooth sailing for future campaigns because it's all there on my online store. I want to assure you that this fiasco hasn't caused any fulfillment delays. I received the funds from Kickstarter a couple of days ago and have placed the order with the printer. Thanks again for your patience. I'll update you again later in the week once the surveys have finally been sent out. So, at least she's not waiting months and months between updates, at least at this point. Another non-update update. So, we get more of nothing until May 3rd. Your surveys are finally on the way. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience waiting for the backer surveys. I'm thrilled and very relieved to let you know that they have finally been sent out, so they should be appearing in your inboxes shortly. I really hope all the work I've done to clean up the glitches that have kept popping up means that the checkout process will now be smooth and easy for all of you. But if you encounter any hiccups, don't hesitate to contact me at ilaolsenbooks@gmail.com or my store manager, Madison. You can also use the contact page on the store if you need. Thank you again, Isla XO. So these are the emails with the gift card credits so that the payment plan backers can finish checking out on her website. So later the same day, she makes another post to clarify. Survey update. In response to a couple of questions from backers, I just want to clarify for people, you should not be being charged anything extra today except for shipping and add-ons if you wish to purchase them. The survey will show all the items included in your pledge with the total amount in USD converted from your AUD pledge price. The shipping is then added, plus whatever amount you spend on add-ons. Then a gift card is automatically applied for the amount of your pledge, so that price is deducted from your total. If the gift card is not applied, please contact me and include a screenshot so I can work out what the problem is. Thanks. So I'm literally, I got so confused just reading that, and it seems like other people were too, because yet another update is posted on the same day. Surveys take 3. Okay, in my defense, it's Saturday morning and my brain isn't working. I should have clarified earlier. For the gift cards to work, you will need to use the codes supplied in your survey emails. If you've already checked out and been charged, please contact myself or Madison with your order number and we'll issue a refund for the amount of your pledge. Oh, and make sure you stick around after checkout to take advantage of the 50% off ebooks and audiobooks on my store. It's a special backer-only sale. Use the code BACKER50. I love how the solution is always here's a coupon to spend more money with me. So, okay, that's all well and good, except for it's crickets until July. Shocker. Hi everyone, I'd like to thank you all for your patience regarding the ebook and audio, which have taken longer than expected to be delivered. I'm glad to say they're both now on their way. You should be receiving emails from BookFunnel by tomorrow with the links to download. You can listen to the audio on the BookFunnel app, and the ebooks can be sent to your preferred e-reader. I've also included a PDF of the print file so you can get a look at what the inside of the paperback and hardcover will look like. Something that isn't included in this download is the ebook annotations, which was one of the stretch goals. At the time, it seemed like such a simple idea, but in reality, it's been a very time-consuming process and is the reason why the ebook has taken so long. Between rereading the books, making notes, and typing them up properly, each book has taken several days to complete. And that's not even accounting for the time it will take to reformat the book to insert the annotations. I'm almost there. I just have Hopeless Romantics to go, but I just can't spare the time for it right now, especially as I already know there are going to be a lot of thoughts on this one. It's my favorite book after all. So rather than delay sending the ebook any longer, I've decided to go ahead and send this version of the book, which is the one that we'll be releasing to retailers. And then once I'm finally done with the annotations, I'll send you guys another copy. Sound good? As far as timeline goes, I'll be taking a few weeks off from my regular schedule in August/September while I travel for some signing events. So I think that'll be a good time to get this done. I will once again keep you updated. Moving on to the print editions. The hardbacks are now with the printer, and we're still on track for October fulfillment. I'll let you know if there are any unexpected delays as we get closer. For the paperbacks, I have managed to find a printer who will do foil covers, but they are US based, which means shipping costs and time that I hadn't accounted for. Ingram Spark have printers in Australia. So at the moment, I'm still weighing things up and I'll make a decision in the next week. That's everything Love and Luck related for now, but there's one more piece of exciting news. My next Kickstarter is launching in just a few weeks, Friday, August 2nd. This will be a much simpler campaign than the Love and Luck one. The focus is on one of my other series, The Good Life, and we're launching new covers for the whole series plus a brand new book. It's the first new addition to the series since 2021, so it's very exciting. Because of course, why not take more money from folks while still owing them from the previous campaign? She gets a tiny little break because the completion date for this Kickstarter wasn't until October, and this was posted in July. So, there was no way of knowing that she wasn't going to do what she said she would. But I still don't love the optics of this. Like, just finish one thing, then move on to the next. I don't know. But I'm also not someone who's a fan of hers, so my opinion is not really as important here. So a few comments to share on this last post. You'll notice the dates on these say 3 months, 4 months, and 8 months ago based on when this screenshot was taken, which was in June. So that leads us to believe that at least as of March 2025, the ebooks have not been sent. So 8 months ago, Sherelle Hopper said, "Hi, was the ebook sent out? I can't find it. Cheers, Sherelle." And then 4 months ago, Zachary says, "Hi, I apologize for not seeing this until now. I still haven't received my ebook copy." And Sherelle 3 months ago says, "Hi, Zachary, neither have I. I haven't had replies to any direct messages to the author, so I guess we've given her a donation." Yikes. So she creates an entirely separate Kickstarter, which is suspiciously done under a completely different Kickstarter account. Now, I'm not going to speculate on why she'd have a second account for this, but you feel free to go ahead and do that for me. So this one is for a series called The Good Life, and it raised over 8,200 Australian dollars, which converts to nearly 5,500 US dollars. Now, this campaign would involve a new book in the series, new paperback covers that would also be used for the ebooks and audiobooks, and then special edition hardcovers with like the discrete covers. Now, people over on this Kickstarter are just as clueless as to what is happening as those in the original one, and some people actually have money invested in both campaigns. And as I've said before, we do not victim blame here. But even if you were thinking about it, remember what I had just said, that the original rewards for the Love and Luck campaign weren't set to be delivered until October, which is after the second Kickstarter. So those folks had no idea that they would be in this situation. So we're just gonna cut that off right now. So the second campaign ends and Isla sends out a similar update as she did for Love and Luck. The campaign's over, what now? Hi everyone, this is just a quick update to let you know backer surveys will be sent out in 2 weeks' time, week beginning August 26th. Please keep an eye on your inboxes and complete the survey at your earliest convenience so I have all the info I need to send your rewards. Thanks so much for supporting the campaign. And you guys, this was the last update until March, as in 7 months later. At least have the decency to communicate. If something's actually going on in your life, you are suffering from like a loss, you're going through something huge, but it just seems like these authors just kind of decide that this whole thing isn't actually that important to them, and it's disgusting. So I'm going to get back to campaign number 2 in a little bit, but I just want to hop back over to Love and Luck for now. So after that July update, where she said things were mostly on schedule and she was launching a new campaign, she proceeded to not update again until January 4th, which is, you got it, 6 months later. And she pretty much posted these back to back. Hi everyone, I would like to offer my sincere apologies for my appalling behavior over the past several months. Instead of showing you how much I appreciate and value your support, I left you in the dark to wait and worry. There aren't enough apologies in the world to make up for that. I hope it will help you to know that this was not at all intentional. It was part of a larger total shutdown and was something I didn't even realize was happening until far too late. I'm not going to go into my personal issues now, but I can say things are on the improve. As for the Love and Luck Omnibus, the books have been printed are being held in China for the moment because I've recently moved house, so I haven't had anywhere to ship them to. I'm currently a bit of a nomad, but I'll be moving into a new place at the end of February, so the books will finally be able to be shipped. For what it's worth, selling my house was not something I'd planned to do when I held this campaign, but I absolutely should have notified you all when it became clear that this would so drastically interfere with the delivery date. Honestly, listen, shit happens. We all deal with stuff, and sometimes things are unexpectedly out of our control, but you gotta communicate that. Like, there's just no excuse for that, and anyways, I know many of you have reached out with emails and messages, etc. I'm still waiting through all of these, along with everything else I've missed on my unplanned hiatus. I thought it would be best to update everyone first, but I do plan to respond to those messages personally as well. Please feel free to reach out if you have further concerns or questions. And then, right after that, she says, some clarification and steps forward. Upon reflection, it occurred to me that my previous update may have not provided enough information on where we should go from here. First, I just want to provide some important clarification. Kickstarter backers will most definitely be the first to receive this omnibus. The copies currently available on my website are pre-orders only. The delivery date was set as January when the Kickstarter delivery was expected to be November. As they've all been done in the same print run, the shipping delay has affected those copies too. I also want to make clear that those books don't have the extra features like dust jackets, bookmark ribbon, Kickstarter stamp, etc. This is another thing I should have made sure you were informed about, and I apologize again for my unprofessional behavior. Going forward, unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do to get the books to me quicker, but I can offer to use Express Post for no extra charge for anyone who requests it when sending the books to you. Also, for anyone who is interested, I can arrange to have paperbacks sent directly to you from the printer with a digital signature instead. Since my address is irrelevant in that situation, I could do that this week. Note, this is a different printer. Unfortunately, I can't do this for the hardbacks. I will be sending all backers affected by this situation a special gift, a special edition copy of P.S. I Loathe You, which isn't currently available for sale anywhere. I also ask that you please let me know if there have been any changes of address on your end since you completed your backer surveys. And if anyone has any further suggestions for a way to make this an easier, more positive process, please let me know. And this is a comment that was left on the second of those updates. Personally, I'm confused by the use of ETC regarding special features not included. Is there anything listed on the campaign that actually applies to the completed hardback, other than the books included has stayed the same? Oh geez, I'm sorry. Even when I'm trying to provide clarification, I just cause more confusion. I was referring to the website edition when listing the not included features above. All of these features were included in the Kickstarter edition. To be specific, these features are Kickstarter exclusive. ETC, and again, sorry for the vagueness, just referred to the other ways the website pre-order is different to the Kickstarter campaign. It didn't seem overly important to expand on this, but I can now see where confusion might have come in. To clarify, the book costs more on the website. There are no upgrade options, i.e. no slipcase or other add-ons. There are no book boxes, and as mentioned, delivery will be several months after Kickstarter backers receive theirs. Hope that helps to clarify things. So basically, she's pulling a Britt Andrews and put the Kickstarter book up for sale on her website, but claiming that it has enough differences that make it not violating the Kickstarter exclusivity thing. Which actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Because if she's ordering these special edition books for her backers, let's say she orders 200 of those. She's not going to then order more nearly identical books, but then be like, hey, actually, remove the bookmark ribbon and foil on the cover for these ones. Because not only is that dumb, but placing multiple orders instead of adding more stock of the same thing is going to be more expensive. So this is a screenshot from her website with the omnibus posted, and it says, this gorgeous special edition omnibus features the first 4 books in the Love and Luck series. That's more than 650 pages of Kelly swooniness. It's a strictly limited edition collection with only 1 print run ordered. Features of the omnibus include beautiful Gilded Age-inspired cover design, hand-signed by Isla, foil and embossed title, matching dust jackets, sprayed edges, stunning interior art, colored end pages, special chapter headings. Please note, while this is essentially the same product that was featured in the Love and Luck Kickstarter in March 2024, there are some features and extras not listed above that were backer exclusive and are no longer available. What are they? I don't know. She doesn't say. So, respectfully, I think that she's full of shit when she says that they are different. And you can also see here that this website pre-order dates are old. It says expected delivery for website pre-orders February 2025. And yet they're still actually available to pre-order on her website. I got all the way to the checkout page, and obviously I wasn't going to actually purchase it, but it happened, and everything went through well. So the last update that was posted came in March. The books are en route. Hi everyone, thank you once again for your incredible patience. I moved into my new place a few weeks ago and have now finally finished unpacking, and I'm settling into a proper work routine. It's starting to feel as though life is getting back to normal. I was hoping to be able to jump on here and be all like, yay, the books arrived, but unfortunately the journey is taking longer than I'd hoped. If you're wondering why I didn't order them months ago so they'd be here when I moved in, it's for two reasons. One, I didn't want them arriving before I moved in and then be faced with the prospect of having 300 kg of books redirected to a parcel storage facility. And two, I live in a one-bedroom apartment now, so I wanted to get all my boxes unpacked before the 300 kg of books arrived. I still have no clue where I'm going to put them all. Paperbacks. I'll be ordering those tomorrow, and they should be here relatively quickly, as they'll be sent by air. I really wanted to send the book boxes out first, but if the paperbacks arrive before the hardbacks, I'll send out the books for the chubbing out tier straight away. I think there are about 20 of you. You should also start receiving your copies of the P.S. I Loathe You Special Edition paperback shortly. Book boxes. In addition to the P.S. I Loathe You Special Edition, you'll be receiving a Love and Luck chibi mug sent directly to you. If you have a preference of characters, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just choose randomly. I also need to know if any bookbox people want a vegan substitute for their lip balm. I will be using beeswax. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now, but I'm going to try my absolute best to check in with you guys at least once a week now until we've got this done. Cheers. Well, she didn't exactly hold to that, did she? Because it's now 3 months later and we have not had a single further update. And not only is she providing no updates, but there has been zero communication from her at all. There have been no photos of any of the merch that was included with some boxes, no behind-the-scenes photos or videos, no photos from the printer, nothing at all. And her not yet having the books in hand would not prevent her from ordering the add-ons. And I know she's moving house, all of this, but you took people's money and made a commitment to them, so you need to sort it out. You need to figure it out. And you'd think that she would want to be showing this stuff off and gushing over all of it, which really does seem to point to none of it existing. So on Kickstarter, in addition to the comment sections on individual updates, there's like a general comment section. And as I'm not a backer, I can't see the comments on the backers only posts, but I can see the other comment area. So here is an assortment of comments that have been posted over the last month. 22 days ago, Dana Spinelli says, "This is gross negligence at this point. Hope you're enjoying the money you stole from everyone. I've reported the project, but I doubt anything will happen." Yeah, I've done that too, and Kickstarter basically said it's out of their hands, and the bank said the only options are small claims court or the Better Business Bureau, which probably will do nothing considering she's not located in the US. Kickstarter appears to be a great platform for scammers to take money with no repercussions. And as a small aside, on a lot of my videos where they're talking about scams, there are comments about reporting someone to the Better Business Bureau. And while I definitely think we should use all of the resources we have to call out scammers, the Better Business Bureau is not government affiliated and is really just a platform for businesses to be reviewed and for consumers to file complaints. It is a nonprofit, but it still has really no standing. I do think that it's kind of a common misconception that they do hold legal standing. So I just want to make that clear. Definitely still good to report through this avenue, but it won't legally change anything. And if someone is not in the US, I'm pretty sure that completely takes away any real, usefulness of it. It's so shameful. I've reported with my bank as well, but I expect they'll say to take it to small claims court as well. So shameful, especially that it's been this long, and technically when they do their investigation, it's with Kickstarter and not the author. There's another author being talked about all over TikTok doing something similar. So now I will definitely not support another campaign unless I'm 100% familiar with the person and their intentions. Good luck, maybe you'll get a better response. And Ashley says, "This is not the only campaign she has disappeared on. She ran two and both are in the same position. No word, no product." Really, how long ago were those run? Did she give the same responses as she did here? I can't even believe the audacity to continue. The other campaign was The Good Life, Gay Small Town Romance, and was funded August 12th, 2024. Books were estimated to be received in November. I was backer 5 and I backed 215 Australian dollars. There has only been one update since the end of the campaign. The update was similar to this. She actually had to make a separate account to start up that second Kickstarter. It's ridiculous. And that one was easier from what I can tell since it was just new covers. But one book I don't think has been written yet, right? That's right, as of March. Much of the book needed to be worked on still. Her and Britt Andrews and another author are the reason I will never back a project for an unwritten book ever again. I had thought the books were on the way to her as of March, so that was a complete lie as well? Yeah. Well, I expect there are a lot of lies at this point. For her other Kickstarter, it included one book that had yet to be written at that point, and from what I remember back in April, the pre-order for it was canceled, and there is no release date. For this project, she said the books were en route to her back in March once she moved, but that can't be possible since she doesn't seem to have anything to be fulfilling on this project. It doesn't take 4 months to get a printed book. It's not 2020, so something is up. That makes sense. I really wanted to give the benefit of the doubt back then, but clearly she just lies and gets away with it. I wonder what it's like to have a clear conscience in this type of situation. She and Britt Andrews must be taking notes from each other on how to thoroughly fuck up a Kickstarter project. LOL, but why does Kickstarter get away scot-free here? Like, we're all reporting this, and they're like, oh well, read our terms, so they also profit while we just get the brunt. Very true. I joke about this, but I imagine there is some truth in it. If they didn't phrase things the way they do, they'd probably be in court every day of the week. My main issue I take with Kickstarter is a lack of transparency and knowing how these creators are. Isla should not have been allowed to create a second account to start a second project. A creator who has a project that is 2+ years late should not get to start a new project. And there should be something like a rating system or a review area where we can let new people know not to support this creator. I think that's a cool idea. They definitely would be. They created a platform that essentially allows anyone to do anything with no repercussions. Great legal team they have. I mean, in their defense, I have backed over 125 projects and only 3 have been horrendous. This is not the norm. That's a great percentage, but I've got to think there are quite a few bad ones out there. It's basically trusting that people are inherently good and mean well. I'm very cynical. So 2 weeks ago, we have the following thread. Also, the fact that you're continuing to sell this book on your website and take orders and money from people when the original backers still don't have their books is quite frankly deceptive and gross. I will continue to be vocal so new readers don't fall for your trap of buying the book online. I did see someone call her out on Threads back in May, but not sure they tagged her. That other author is being blasted all over TikTok for a similar situation. I'm so disgusted with this because she probably fights the bank chargebacks but couldn't care less about screwing everyone over. Yeah, Britt is the worst offender I think I have ever seen in a publishing-related Kickstarter. I was a backer but luckily got a refund last year. Let's all just clap for that because that's amazing. Did you back the other project too? I'm trying to find someone who can share the backer updates on that other project as well. I haven't donated to the other, I just see how much is going on through TikTok. Outside of small claims court, I don't know what other resources could be of use. How do none of her fans not know what's going on here? I want to know if someone who ordered through her website got their books. I'm not sure what our rights are since she's in Australia. If she were in the US, I'd be doing what people are doing for Brit's Kickstarter. I don't even know if small claims court holds up internationally. I don't think anyone has gotten things. I have someone who told me they're waiting on audiobooks from a 2023 purchase on her site. That is crazy. You don't have to do anything. You just have to, send it. It just has to go. It's already made. What? Exactly. There's little recourse for us here, and I doubt they'd have any jurisdiction. It'll cost more than it's worth, even if they did take it just in time. This has already taken up too much brain space for my liking, let alone money. I don't know how an audiobook gets delayed, though. It's electronic, so she has to be a master of deception, I guess. I wonder if locals can do anything. So while she's completely silent to her backers, she is, however, still posting regularly on Instagram, so it's clear that she's just avoiding anyone who starts to question what's going on with her. Okay, so now let's flip back to Kickstarter number 2, the Good Life series. So this thread here starts 4 months ago, and you can see the dates. Hey, did you ever hear back from Reaching Out? Hiya, I still haven't heard anything from her. I've done all I think I can do. I'll try again today, but I'm not holding my breath about hearing back. Oh, it's okay, I was just curious, that was all. I can't believe it's been 6 months without an update. Neither can I. If she updated the other campaign on January 4th, she should have updated this one too, regardless of her personal situation. Hey Ashley, I've got something for you. I've been wondering why Isla had 2 accounts, especially since both accounts deal with content. Creators' accounts can be restricted if they don't respond promptly to requests for updates from backers. I'm guessing the other account was prevented from making a new project. No way, so you think she got restricted from making new content and needed to make a new account? Yeah, but it means she is using a whole different set of details for this one, email and account name at the bare minimum. It was MM that would have been restricted. So the one she used for love and luck. I'm feeling seriously ripped off here. Oh, for fuck's sake, I just looked up her last login date, January 4th, the same day she updated love and luck. Why didn't she do this one too? I don't understand why she would just abandon this project like this. I feel the same. Between the two, I've invested over $500. At this point, I just want my money back. I totally get things happen, but there has been no communication. I'm sad. She's such an amazing author. I was thrilled to back these. I also don't understand how Kickstarter is allowing this to happen. Hopefully we hear back soon. She hasn't had any updates for Love and Luck since January 4th either. I'm just at a complete loss. And on that one, the only update that has been made in 2025 is super long and was posted on March 29th after 7 months of nothing. In the words of Lizzo, it's about damn time. Hi everyone. Let me start by offering a long overdue apology for the lack of communication over the past 6 months. I know many of you are aware my personal life has undergone a period of significant upheaval recently, and while it doesn't excuse the lack of contact, I can say without a doubt that if I'd known what was coming down the pike, I would never have run this campaign. But there's a bit more to the story, and I think you guys deserve all the details. Feel free to scroll to the more important stuff in bold if you want to skip. No, we're reading the whole thing. I'm pretty sure the last update I said I'd be sending surveys within a few days. That was my intention, but then I got it in my dumb head that since the surveys were delayed anyway, I should just wait until I'd finished the revisions for Change of Heart, then I could do the surveys and fulfill all the orders easy peasy. That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You're gonna wait until you've finished this whole book to send that at the same time as like your receipt thing or whatever. Doesn't make sense. I could not let this idea go, even when Change of Heart was proving recalcitrant, to put it mildly. I don't like using ADHD as an excuse for unprofessionalism, but I'm going to anyways. But this is a classic example of unhealthy hyperfixation. It's very annoying. But it probably wouldn't have turned into an issue if Change of Heart had been behaving the way I'd expected it to. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. For what it's worth, revision has never been much of an issue for me. I write pretty clean first drafts, and while it's not my favorite part of the process, I've always considered self-editing to be one of my strengths. This is why I was so caught off guard when Mr. Blue Sky turned out to be such a challenge. I've never had to deal with a months-long revision process before, or go through multiple rewrites, or leave so much of the draft on the cutting room floor. It was horrifying, but that book was longer and more complex than what I'm used to writing, with a different relationship dynamic. So I made what I considered to be a reasonable assumption that it was an outlier. But no, clearly that's not the case. I thought I had Change of Heart pretty much sealed up, but during revision some big problems reared their heads. It wasn't all that funny, the romance was kind of meh, and worst of all, it didn't feel like a good life book. Not going to lie, it's been freaking me out to learn my instincts are all askew. So I started to rewrite and unpick and add new characters and slip in POVs from other characters and then delete everything I'd changed. Basically, I was just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck, which of course just ended up in a big fat mess. So then communicate that. Tell people that. And then the burnout that I'd been keeping at bay for about a year finally caught up with me, and I just completely shut down mentally. I think if I'd been having a more positive writing experience at the time, I would have been able to deal with this in a more healthy manner, but everything about writing at that point was frustrating, exhausting, disappointing, and confidence sapping. So when things started getting chaotic in real life, it was easy to switch off and not deal with work for a while. Yeah, it's always easy to do that, but sorry, I'm just this frustrating. As convenient as it was, a couple of months off was exactly what I needed, and by Christmas I was feeling much more refreshed and ready to get stuck back into work. I had started working on Change of Heart again, balancing it out with a draft of a passion project that I'm hoping to get out this year, but that only lasted a few weeks because real-life chaos took over again and writing time was limited. I'm sorry if I keep, flipping you off. I just have a finger thing. I don't know. But, you shouldn't be balancing out your time writing a passion project if you have something due that people are expecting from you, that you owe them. That's just, if you have time to do both, but you clearly don't. So you need to focus that energy on the thing that you are on the hook for from people. They've given you money for this. It's driving me nuts. This is basically the same thing that happened with Brit, and it's just you don't get to make that choice when you owe people stuff. But now I'm finally settled back to full-time authoring, and unless something truly disastrous happens, like a super volcano erupting in Melbourne, that status won't be changing anytime soon. Of course, that doesn't mean Change of Heart is going to magically be edited with a snap in the fingers. The problems are still all there, but at least now I have time to actually work on it. I managed to get Mr. Blue Sky done eventually. I'll get Change of Heart done too. But that brings us to the other reason for the delay in communication. If you also backed the Love and Luck Kickstarter, then you'll know I reached out to those backers in January, and you might have been wondering why you didn't hear from me then. They were. It wasn't that I was ignoring you guys, it was that I was trying to figure out what the hell to do now. I knew at that point it would be possibly 6 months or so until Change of Heart would be ready, and I kept going around in circles about whether to just cancel the entire campaign and refund everyone, or offer partial refunds, and if so, how do I work out how much to give back for Change of Heart, or offer refunds to anyone who asks. Given this is a print-on-demand campaign, there are options available here that I don't have for the Love and Luck campaign. I wanted to have a clear answer for you so there wouldn't be any confusion, but I didn't think it'd take this long for me to figure it out, so I apologize for that. I will be setting up a dedicated page on my website for the Good Life campaign where you'll be able to order your tiers as bundles with a code I'll send you. If you've ordered physical books, you'll also get a code for free shipping. Ebooks and audiobooks will be automatically delivered by BookFunnel. You'll get an email from BookFunnel with a download link. Physical books will be automatically delivered by BookVault. Change of Heart will be set up as a pre-order on both BookFunnel and BookVault. I'll set the date for December 31st this year and move it forward once the edits are finally done. Once it's live on BookFunnel and BookVault, your order will be automatically fulfilled. The Change of Heart audiobook has obviously not yet been produced, and given Kale's busy schedule, I'm assuming that's the narrator, and the uncertainty of the book's finish date, I've rescheduled production for early next year. It will be set up as a pre-order through BookFunnel. Everyone will also be issued with a 50% off store code, which can be used on any digital products in the store. How generous. I'll add all the digital products, e.g. ebooks, audiobooks, art downloads, etc., as products on the page so it's all in one place. I'll also add the Good Life merch items as separate products. Unfortunately, I can't offer discounts for these as they're printed by a third party. Substitution options. If you'd like to substitute another book for Change of Heart, that can be arranged. A number of alternate editions will be coming to the store soon, or you can choose from the existing catalog. So you're probably wondering when that will actually be happening. I've just hired a new web manager to run my site/store, and she'll be starting on Tuesday. She's told me she'd like about a week to familiarize herself with everything and make some notes for improvements, etc., and then she'll be able to get stuck in and do the page building stuff. In the meantime, I'll work on getting all the books linked up to BookVault and BookFunnel. I did all the formatting last year, but I want to double check everything since it's been a while. So that should put us at mid-April. I'll do my best to get it set up before Easter so you can avoid any processing delays on BookVault's end. One final thing. I know a lot of you have tried to reach out via email over the last several months, and I apologize again for my lack of response. This was more me being a complete dum-dum than anything. That's not an excuse. I merged my old website with my store last year, and in the process, my Isla@ilaolson.com inbox has moved to a different app. But of course, I keep forgetting this. The only other thing I use that email address for is my newsletter. And since I've only sent 2 newsletters in the past 6 months, it didn't seem all that strange that there weren't any new emails. But I have it in an open tab on my desktop now, so I will remember to check. I would really love to be able to go through and respond to every email and message, but I think there would just be rehashing everything I've said here. So if you have any further concerns or questions I haven't answered here, please feel free to send a new email or message. Gonna interject really quickly. The amount of goodwill that I think that would show by replying to every message and just being like, you're so right, I'm so sorry, I think would go a really long way, because people just want to be heard. And basically by saying I would love to do that, but I'm not going to tell you anything that you don't already know. Who cares? Just tell them again. Freaking copy paste the exact same response. But I think that would be a really good use of her time. I think that's something that just really would go a long way to be like, hey, I care about you. But she doesn't, so I think that's probably where the difference lies. I mean, I'm going to circle back to this in a second. I'm going to finish reading this first. So that's all for now. If you read that entire thing, you deserve an applause. Next update will have the link for the store page, but you'll hear from me before then with your codes. Cheers, Isla. And again, there has been absolutely nothing since then. So, really quickly, before I move on, I just want to put this in terms of a different sort of scenario. So, a lot of you know, but if you're new, you might not. My real job is a flight attendant. And so, lots of times when we're sitting there with passengers on the plane and things are delayed, we have no idea what's going on. If there's maintenance, we know there's maintenance sometimes, and like that's all we know. And I never see passengers more frustrated than when we know there's maintenance, but no one's telling anyone anything. No one has given any sort of timeline. The captain has not got on the PA to even give like a general of like, hey, this is something that's really gonna be a big deal and it might be like hours, or like, hey, we're just waiting for maintenance to come out and fix this. You know, we don't know exactly how long it's gonna take, but it shouldn't like derail the rest of your day, that kind of thing. And it's insane how far communication can go, even when that communication is, I'm really sorry we don't have an update. When I think about the way that Isla and Britt have run their campaigns here and just absolutely disappeared off the face of the earth, giving their customers, because that's what they are, they've given them money, nothing at all. It is just such a poor reflection on like them as humans. Nothing is like more frustrating to me as a flight attendant is having passengers on the plane and we're just sitting there and the captain or whoever has told them nothing. Because we don't know anything either as flight attendants majority of the time. I would say nearly all of the time. If we know something, we're going to tell it to you as well. And the amount of calm that just saying, hey, we don't know, I'm so sorry, like I don't have an update, but I promise I'll get you one when I do, goes such a long way in just making everyone kind of mellow out and be like, okay, you know what? It's not that serious. We're going to just take it as it comes. And just listening to people's concerns when they have them. I just think that like, I guess it's just at the end of the day, customer service is customer service. And her readers are readers and she's a creative, but she's the face of her brand and she's the person running it. So she is the business. She is the one that's customer facing. And she needs to have the same sort of respect for people that are paying her. Most people are good people. Most people understand if something's going on in your personal life that is preventing you from doing what you were supposed to be doing. But if you don't give anyone the chance to give you that sort of grace, then you don't deserve to have it. Hopefully any of that made sense. I just see such parallels to like the kind of business that I'm in. I think it really helps as far as trust within a business or a whatever and the consumer. Okay, so more comments that were posted about a month ago on the general like comments page. Hi, I'm just looking for an update. It's been months since we've heard anything. Hi, Ashley. I see we are back to the ask for an update game. Looks like it's the waiting game again. I tried sending a message since there hasn't been an update here and I haven't heard anything. It's been almost a month since I sent it. Ashley, I know you backed your other project, not sure about Paige, but any updates about what is going on over there? Production, shipping, anything? Honestly, I would rather movement on this one, but I'm hoping she's not entirely missing again. Hey, so yeah, we're back to not having any updates. I haven't had any updates on the other campaign either. Again, crickets. I'm so over this, honestly. I wish I could just pull my money out of both campaigns. I was so hopeful for these. So throughout this entire thing, Isla was also still running and charging folks on her Patreon account. And I just so happened to find her page when she had literally updated the day prior for the first time in 8 months. In the words of Stained, it's been a while. I actually had that album back in the day, but I couldn't for the life of me tell you any of the other songs that are on it. But yes, it has indeed been a very, very, very long while since you last heard from me, and I sincerely apologize for that. It's currently the end of the financial year time in Australia, and that has given me the kick in the butt I desperately needed to finally sort this shit out. I did intend to log in months ago, like January, and pause payments because it was becoming obvious I didn't have the time or mental space to make Patreon a priority. As it happens, payments can only be paused for 1 month at a time, so in all likelihood, I would have forgotten to log back in each month to continue pausing. So the fact that she would have forgotten to keep pausing should excuse that she just decided to not do it altogether. She's doing some real mental gymnastics to get herself to make that seem like a good idea. I have had a Patreon for about a month now, and I feel so bad if I miss one day of like checking in on the Discord. So I don't know how she can possibly feel okay about 8 months of charging people with no contact from her. Because I'm like, oh my god, I have to make sure people are getting what they paid for. I better make sure I'm like present at all times. Anyway, after a solid 8 months without posting any content, my knee-jerk reaction when I logged in yesterday was, okay, let's just refund everyone and start again. But after crunching the numbers, I realized this isn't actually possible. I withdrew funds in September, so there's no cushion to cover Patreon's cut. I'd also really like to fulfill the overdue merch, as well as the book boxes and swag bags, that are like 2 years overdue now. Although, on the bright side, there's much better swag now than there would have been before, and the boxes will be better than I would have done last year. Okay, that doesn't... whatever. What I've decided to do instead is refund the last 3 months, April, May, June, and pause payments for the next 3, July, August, September. Unfortunately, there's no option to suspend payments on an individual member basis, otherwise I'd offer a longer free period for current members. I'm sure you would. As mentioned above, it's the start of a new financial year today, but I'm treating it like New Year's Day, but without the hangover. The past 12 months have been incredibly tough both personally and professionally, and I'm well and truly ready to turn the page and reset. And I'd very much like Patreon to be a big part of that. In terms of going forward, my priority is to get this page back to being a valuable and worthwhile VIP experience. In order to do that, I'm scaling back the tiers so I can keep things far simpler. Currently, the tiers with the most active members are $5, $10, and $20, so they're the ones that'll be staying. In terms of what will be included, I don't have any tier specifics at the moment, but here are some of the main things. Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. So this is a serial novel that she has been writing on her Patreon, and currently it has 22 chapters. I'm so excited to say that I'm working on Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot again. I've missed this story so much, but honestly, my writing brain has been seriously fried for such a long time. This is the first time in a very, very long time that I've actually been excited to get to my computer and start writing in the morning. New chapters. I would love to start releasing sooner, but realistically, I probably won't start posting new chapters again until next month. Even though I'm really loving writing at the moment, it hasn't changed the fact that for the past year or so, my writing speed could rival a sloth. A really, really good day for me at the moment, if I'm at my computer working all day, is about 1,500 words. I used to be able to do that in an hour. So rather than writing one chapter at a time, I'm currently working on episodes 4, 5, and 6 with a fair bit of jumping around. So I might get episode 4 finished within the next couple of weeks, or it might not be done until I'm halfway through writing episode 6. One of my biggest writing dilemmas is I often have one character who talks too loud and the other too quiet. In Fake It, I'd written all of Heath's chapters and still had about 7 of Declan's to do, which is why some of Declan's are only about 1K words. At the moment, Damon is practically screaming, so it won't surprise me if there are still several jazz chapters lingering before episode 4 can be completed. Once I'm done with episode 4, I'll do a daily chapter release for eligible members, so on and so forth for episodes 5 and 6. I.e. a daily chapter release each month. It'll span 10 to 14-ish days depending on how many chapters are in the episode. I don't understand that math. There are a couple of reasons for doing it this way. One, it will provide a level of certainty and predictability that I haven't managed with the serial in the past. The posts will be scheduled and dropped at the same time every day, and the episodes will end with a soft cliff rather than leaving you hanging mid-scene for weeks. I.e., enough to make you want to come back, but not anything super dramatic. 2, I'm planning to release the episodes on KU soon, hoping to start in September if I've finished writing all of Season 1 by then. I'd love for this to remain Patreon exclusive, but that's not really feasible. At the moment, I only have the time and mental energy to focus on one writing project, and I want it to be this one. Even though she told us before that she was working on a passion project as well, and then not to even mention the other book, Change of Heart, that still hasn't been written and people have already paid her for. But that means I need to make it financially viable. The upshot of this is that the chapters for each episode will need to have been released and removed from Patreon before that episode is published on KU. My goal will be to keep the Patreon release 2 months ahead of KU. I don't mean to sound cruel or insensitive, but it really frustrates me that the episodes for this special Patreon series are now going to be on KU because she needs to make it financially viable. Because you know what you do at that point? You shut down your Patreon. Or you at least take off the promise of anything exclusive. And if people want to give you monetary support, they can, but it will be just like out of the kindness of their hearts because they want to support you. Just because you are in a tough financial spot doesn't mean that these people now don't get what they were promised. And I think that is like the biggest thing that all of these kind of scammer situations have in common, is that like they decide to make it the problem of the customer, the reader, the consumer, whatever you want to call it, because they don't know how to manage their business. And that's really frustrating. If this goes well, I plan to use a similar release structure for future WTF seasons, of which there are now 3 planned and the definite possibility of a 4th. Stop planning new stuff when you have stuff that's not done! Episode novellas. Also read WTF. I've been editing and updating the existing episodes, and Talk, book number 1, is almost ready to go. There are still some tweaks I want to make for Touch, book number 2, and Tease, book number 3, needs a couple of additional chapters. So, I will format Talk and get the ebook sent out this month, plus a paperback for $20 members, and there'll be a book a month going forward. Other content / rewards. Behind the scenes access. Last week, I was chatting with a friend about some of the crazy things I'd been researching lately. Did you know they make CBD lube now? And it occurred to me this might be something I could share with you guys. WTF in particular involves so much extra research, and most of it is incredibly kinky. Seriously, if I died mysteriously and the police searched my cache. So I think it might be fun to do a What I Learned This Week post, or this week's Google searches, or something like that. Okay. Live posts. Another thing I'm considering but not 100% sure about is maybe doing some live posts. As mentioned, writing is a slog for me right now, even for things like this post, which I've realized I've spent the better part of 4 hours on. So talking might be better, even though I'm really not a fan of the camera. I'm putting this in the maybe pile. Collector's bookmarks. I've been making bookmarks for the Love and Luck Kickstarter printed by Vistaprint, and I'm embellishing them with gold embossing. Really? Where are they? Where have you been making them, and who has them? And I love the design so much, I decided to make similar ones for all my couples and turn it into a collector's series. To make them extra special, I'm going to make them available only in book boxes and as a gift for Patreon members. This would be separate to other merch and sent out every 3, 6, or 12 months depending on membership tier. Alright, it's really time for me to wrap this up. I'd like to close out by apologizing once again and thank you for sticking around, even if you've gone down to a free subscription. I know I haven't shown it of late, but I do appreciate all of you, and I plan to do much, much better going forward. Isla XO. P.S. I'll be fulfilling merch / book boxes for any eligible members who have now downgraded or canceled their membership. Also, members who were previously on the $50 or $25 tiers within the past year and were eligible to receive WTF paperbacks will get them as they're sent out. Yes, that does say $50 tiers. People were being charged that much and not seeing anything from it. Appalling. So that is where things currently stand. Despite this having fewer people being scammed, it is wild how much less there is out there talking about it than of Brit's situation. Because, yeah, it's fewer people being scammed, and yes, it's less money, but it still seems to be pretty bad. It's honestly on its way to being just as bad. I do have an update video coming very soon about Brit's situation. And I hate to think about all of the authors who do things right and are trustworthy that won't be able to do cool stuff like this because people are going to be wary, which I absolutely don't blame them for, but it sucks that it's being ruined by scammers. And as always, I will do an update video when and if there is more to tell, but unfortunately there isn't currently a conclusion of any kind. Hopefully with her updating the Patreon a few days ago, she will start updating her Kickstarters as well, but I'm not holding my breath. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yes, I did join her Patreon as a free member, so I can get updates when they come out, if they come out. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more just like it, make sure you are subscribed. I do have a Patreon that I do update, so if you are interested in supporting me over there, go check it out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!